Something happened that February evening that no one noticed, but it changed everything. A single phone call would reveal secrets no one was ready to hear. The evening of Monday, February 24th, started like any other, but what unfolded was far from ordinary. Just after 5:30 p.m. I had wrapped up the show and was settling into the usual routine when my phone buzzed with a message from a friend. I won't name them, but the note was unusual, even cryptic. "Hey, I have something to tell you from the White House. They asked me to call you. I'm just the messenger here." Those words, "I'm just the messenger," hung in the air. Something about the detachment felt strange. Who says that without knowing they're about to deliver something unsettling? I replied casually, "Sure, give me a call," expecting the unexpected, but not the depth of what was coming. Meanwhile, amidst all the drama surrounding Candace Owens, especially after her explosive claims about the French presidential couple, most people missed a critical detail. Rewatching one of her older episodes, it became clear that something monumental had slipped through the cracks. Months before, Kirk had personally reached out to her, telling her to stop discussing Braget Macron. That one phone call reshapes our understanding of their connection entirely. Public speculation claimed Candace and Charlie hadn't been in touch for years. That call proved otherwise. They were close enough for him to reach out directly, to warn her. Listening to her recounting of the conversation now feels different. Her pauses, her inflection, even the cautious phrasing all makes sense knowing Charlie was on the line. This isn't about accusations, it's about context. Candace described the call with the precision of someone who had lived through it. "He called me right away," she said, recounting the conversation. Someone high up in the White House had requested, via Charlie, that she refrain from discussing Braget. That simple favor, delivered carefully, carried layers of meaning. Was Charlie fully on board with the directive? Or was he protecting himself while shielding Candace? Perhaps that phrase, "I'm just the messenger," was a subtle disclaimer, a buffer should the situation escalate. It suggests he was relaying a message he didn't necessarily agree with, but felt compelled to convey. Candace's tone revealed the personal nature of their bond. Unlike formal interactions, a real friendship carries nuances. You don't maintain pleasantries, you speak candidly. She described it as personal, not political, emphasizing that Charlie had been very good to me in the past. A protective gesture, meant to shield him from unwanted attention. The timing was peculiar. The Braget Macron podcast series had concluded just days before. On February 20th. Why now? 4 days later, was this phone call coming? Questions raced through my mind, and hers as well. Every detail seemed layered with intention, carefully veiled from the public eye. Candace's careful wording ensured Charlie's name remained out of the spotlight. In a digital age, names get connected instantly. Every pause, every choice of phrase, mattered. She mirrored Charlie's voice so precisely that you could almost hear him say, "I didn't lie to you. I didn't lie to you." It wasn't theatrics. It was faithful recreation. The call hinted at pressures beyond friendship. Candace discovered odd legal references in Braget's cases, mentions of MK Ultra tied to her birthday, an eerie coincidence. Her investigation unveiled inconsistencies that made the official narrative seem increasingly fragile. Each discovery amplified the urgency of the warning. Charlie's tone remained enigmatic. Candace sensed he wasn't providing full details, either he didn't know them, or revealing them could put someone at risk. In the days preceding his death, he confided to others that "they're coming for me." Who were they? The connection to that February call is haunting. Could it have been the same people pressuring Candace? Candace speculated cautiously. She clarified repeatedly that she was interpreting patterns, not accusing anyone. Still, the alignment of events, the White House message, legal threats, and sudden silences online suggested an orchestrated effort. Some accounts that once supported her went dark, others launched coordinated attacks. It was chilling. She tried to maintain composure while pregnant, humor masking the tension. But the underlying reality was intense. Someone influential wanted her silenced. Charlie's message delivered as a favor may have been a shield, a coded warning. She later reached out to trusted advisors, including Tucker Carlson, who urged caution, emphasizing timing over silencing. Candace, meticulous documentation, calls, screenshots, timelines painted a web of influence and secrecy. Connections spanned think tanks, nonprofits, and European political campaigns. She noticed repeating names and financial ties, forming an intricate puzzle she had inadvertently stepped into. The call itself became more haunting in retrospect. Charlie's words, "I'm just a messenger," were no longer casual. They carried the weight of someone balancing loyalty, friendship, and the threat of powerful forces. Candace felt the tension firsthand. His phrasing may have been code. A quiet caution before things escalated further. After the call, Candace took a moment of silence to process. Shock, disbelief, fear emotions blended into one overwhelming reality. Why was Charlie, of all people, involved? The realization hit. The situation wasn't mere gossip. Powerful forces were at play, and her refusal to comply had consequences. Months later, she reflected on Charlie's final words. The combination of fatigue, pressure, and obligation made his tone different from before, softer, restrained, yet urgent. Observers noted the stress in his final public appearances. If he was tasked with passing along warnings under duress, it explains the tension in every interaction. Candace pieced together external elements too. Emmanuel Macron was in Washington, D.C., on February 24th, having left the White House just hours before the call. Connections to crisis management, communications firms, and public figures hinted at a coordinated effort. She even suspected Sergio Gore's involvement, describing his aggressive insistence during a follow-up conversation. The narrative extended to international implications. Negotiations, media consultants, and lobbyists all tied into Brigitt's story. Whether coincidence or orchestration, the overlap was uncanny. Candace's recounting of events highlights the intricate balance between personal loyalty and political maneuvering. She remained cautious, never claiming Charlie was complicit. He was a messenger, protecting her without exposing himself. And that subtlety is critical. One phrase, delivered under pressure, may have prevented greater consequences. Candace's instincts proved prescient. The story's complexity only deepened over time. Her persistence researching quietly, securing her home, documenting everything wasn't paranoia. She was uncovering a trail of coincidences, threats, and hidden connections. Each step reinforced the significance of that initial phone call, the spark igniting everything that followed. Charlie's words, "I'm just a messenger," now resonate as a warning. Messages often come without context, sometimes with threats hidden beneath the surface. Candace's story demonstrates the power of subtle communication, loyalty, and courage under pressure. Public perception remains divided. Some dismiss her claims as exaggeration, others recognize a pattern too consistent to ignore. Whatever the truth, the call was not random. It was personal, strategic, and consequential. It reverberated far beyond what anyone expected. In reflecting on the events, Candace emphasized two truths. First, she and Charlie were still friends, contrary to online speculation. Second, she believes his warnings, "They're coming for me," may have been tied to the same forces pressuring her. Timing, coincidence, and intent converge in ways that leave more questions than answers. As months passed, the investigation, speculation, and media coverage deepened. One arrest connected to Charlie's passing further complicated the narrative. The trial promises to uncover more layers, potentially blurring lines between fact, fear, and manipulation. Throughout it all, Candace remained vigilant. Her instincts, courage, and careful analysis transformed a single phone call into a story of suspense, friendship, and political intrigue. Behind every viral clip and headline, there is real life affected by decisions, secrets, and quiet warnings. Her story is a reminder. Power operates subtly. Messages often conceal more than they reveal. And sometimes, the most chilling truths are whispered rather than shouted. That February call was just the beginning, an echo of secrets, influence, and warnings that continue to ripple today. Candace's closing reflection captures it best. Messages don't always come with explanations. Sometimes they come with warnings. And that haunting thought lingers, urging anyone listening to consider not just what was said, but what remained unspoken. If this story left you as stunned as it left me, don't just scroll by. Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know what you think really happened behind that call. Who was pulling the strings? And did Charlie truly try to protect Candace? Or was it something even bigger? Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. We'll be diving deeper into every twist, every secret, and every shocking detail as it unfolds. Don't stay in the dark, join the conversation today.